So in today's class, we are going to start 1.1.3, which is input, output, and storage. The syllabus says that we need to discuss four components. The first component is how different input, output, and storage can be applied to the solutions of different problems. B part is the use of magnetic flash and optical storage devices. C part is RAM and ROM, and D is virtual storage. So I'm going to start with the A part, which is how different input, output, and storage devices can be applied to solutions to a different problem. So first, can you tell me what is the difference between input and output?
So, an input device is a device that you use to activate the output devices. The output devices basically store the result of what you did.
Activate the output
Based on
devices? I didn't get it.
when they output they get the result of
Input devices. Can you repeat what you just said?
the input devices. Basically, no, I actually do not know how to explain, but it's basically like when you like. Okay, right. Oh yeah, yeah. An input device is a device that you use in real life to display the output.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Input device is not used to display the output. Not at all.
I mean, I actually do not know how to explain
Okay.
it.
No problem. No problem.
I do know examples of it. I just don't know how to explain
Okay,
it.
then give me some examples.
Remote,
What is a remote?
that can be used to turn the TV on.
La la. I mean, is it an input device or output device?
Oh yeah, you weren't clear, but anyways, input.
Input. Okay, okay. Now I'll help you
Uh,
out.
yeah. And a light switch as well.
Okay. So basically, okay, let me help you out with this. Basically, first of all, you need to understand what is an input device, and input devices are all those devices that are used to send instructions, data to your computer system, or they enable the user to interact with it. What is an input device? Input devices are all those devices that are used to send data instructions to your computer system so that they can interact with your computer system. What are some of the input devices? This is like an example of a keyboard. This is like an example of a touch screen. This is like an example of a scanner. This is like an example of a mouse. This is like an example of a microphone. This is like an example of a webcam, because they are used to send instructions, like like for you to interact with that and send instructions to your computer system. What is an input device? An input device is one which can be used to put data and information into a computer, right? That means you are sending it to the computer. Are you getting my point?
Yeah, yeah.
And output devices are those devices
They
which are,
basically display the output.
yes, yes. Displays the result, shows the output, shows the process information. And the examples of output devices are monitor, printer, speaker, headphone, projector. Or if I make it really easy for you, you need to think of it like, if it is an input device, that means you are sending in the data. And if it is an output device, that means you are actually sending out the data, like this. So an input device is the one which can be used to put data and information into a computer. Likewise, an output device is one which can be used to send information from the computer, right? So what are the some examples of input device? It is like a keyboard. What is keyboard used for?
It's basically like to enter the letters and numbers and
Yes, good,
symbols.
good, good. What is webcam used for?
Take photos.
Yes, yes. What is magnetic stripe reader used for?
Reading data from magnetic
Yes,
stripe.
yes, yes. What is barcode reader used for?
Scanning barcodes for
Yeah,
information.
yes, that's excellent. Because it's an example of an input device, right? Because you are interacting with it and sending data. Now, when we go on to the output device, we have speakers. Why we have a speaker? So that the output can be used to sound from a computer. We have printers used to output information from computer onto paper. We have a projector that is used to project video from a computer onto screen, right? A small number of devices can be categorized as both input and output. For example, we can say a touch screen. Now you can say that touch screen outputs information in a visual way like a monitor, but if it is touch screen, then it would be both. So it is actually important to consider when purchasing an input device, include the speed and accuracy of input. Different devices will be able to transfer data at faster rate or to record information in a greater detail. So in addition, cost and relevance must be considered, like is the device the right one for the right task?
Yeah.
See, we have input devices, output devices, touch screen, and when we talk about the performance of them, it depends on factors like such as input and output device, which include speed, accuracy, cost, relevance to tasks like this. So, what do you think that what factor you should consider while you are selecting an input or output device?
Um,
What
Selecting an input.
factors you should consider when you are selecting an input and output device?
Mm, Efficiency.
And
Cost.
okay, good. Accuracy, cost, speed, and relevance to the task. These are the four things that you are going to take care of, right?
Isn't speed and relevance of the test basically efficiency?
Yes, 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 it is indeed. Now, I just made you understand what is an input and output device, but the question is how different input and output device can be applied to the solutions of different problem. What do you say?
Um, I don't know.
Basically, the first concept is the hardware, right? And when we take the hardware to the next level, the hardware branches out into two categories, which is input and output device. The hardware is basically the physical components of a computer system. For example, you have CPU, RAM, motherboard, mouse, monitor, or you can say that this is the name given to physical components of a computer system. So a computer system can have CPU, memory, some storage, input output device, and peripherals is the term given to hardwares attached to be used, but they are not an integral part. So when we branches out these hardwares, then we have input and output device. So input devices allow the data to be entered into the computer system, and output devices allow information to be retrieved from the computer. And we have those examples. Now, as the question said that I think let's first discuss the storage devices, then I'll come back to it. So, what do you know about storage devices?
Storage devices are devices that are basically needed for input devices.
Yes, so there are a variety of different methods of storing information, each of which is suited into a particular type of information, right? So, for example, some example of the storage is the first one is an optical storage. An optical devices are those which are read and written with the help of a laser. Information is represented by portions of the disk which either reflect or scatter the incident laser light written in spiral tracks of the disk surface. So microscopic view of the surface of a optical disc is right here. The portions which are recessed scatter, whereas the flat portions reflect the light. So an example of the optical disc is a CD as well. CD stands for a compact disc. They are used for optical technology as well, and that is used to store small quantities of information, most commonly used for audio files, CDs. But their disadvantage is that they can be easily damaged if you have scratches, and they have a limited capacity as well, and they are relatively slow as well. If you're going to talk about the DVD, so DVD is actually much better storage than CDs because they have a good capacity, they have a good quality as well. DVD stands for digital versatile disc or digital video disc, which is actually similar to CDs, DVDs, and are also optical devices which have a higher capacity than CD, making them suited to store digital videos which require more storage space than files. Then we have the Blu-ray as well, which is an advancement over DVD. So Blu-ray have more than 5 times as much storage than traditional DVD, making them for using for high resolution films. This is for the Blu-ray part. Like you can say that when it was my time, maybe like 500 years ago when I was a student, so we used to have CDs, and CDs is about like 700 MB only. That's the that is the storage capacity of a CD. So you just cannot store so many of information in the CD. And when it comes to the DVD part, a DVD is like up to like 4.7 GB something, where you can store more amount of information into that. And with the Blu-ray, it's like you can store even more than 5 times of data. Like it can go up to 30 and 40 GB of data as well. So I think you have heard about it. Like when we go for the CD and DVDs of PS4 or PS5, they only come in Blu-ray. Why Blu-ray? Because Blu-ray has more capacity and they can store high resolution games and films. But all of this is going to coming under the optical part. I want you to understand that optical disc basically refer to when you are using laser to read and write the data on a surface, optical surface. So when we are actually talking about optical surfaces, this means that we are referring to these devices. This is optical storage. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
See, this is the optical storage. You have the compact disc, you have the DVD, then you have the Blu-ray. I'll send this to you. Do you know about magnetic storage devices?
Mm, they allow any information to be represented in binary form.
Here are the magnetic storage devices. See, you have hard disk, you have floppy disk, you have magnetic tape. These types of devices, they are known as magnetic devices. Magnetic devices so that you can read and write and work with them. And basically, if it is about magnetic devices, that means that you can store information representing binary information using two magnetic states, like which is representing 1 and 0, and it allow any information to be represented in the binary form. So The most common type of magnetic storage is a hard disk drive. And magnetic storage is also store the information magnetically. That means that they use the magnetic capacity to store the details. Like the first example I have right here is a hard disk drive. So a hard disk drive have high capacities, maybe between up to 500 GBs to 500 terabytes, and they work by rotating magnetic platters at high speed using read and write on an actuator arm, which allow to read and write and access any part of the platter. Let me explain you what is this part and how are they actually working with this. So hard disk drive. This is a video right here. Now, what I want to tell you is that this hard disk drive, like you can see that they use the magnetic capacity. Are you able to hear the volume?
No.
Okay, wait. Let me send you this video so that you can check this and then come back to me. See, I sent it on to chat.
Done. I finished watching the video.
Okay, but are you clear about the magnetic capacity? Like, what do I mean about that? Because it has a platter, it has an actuator arm, and when it moves forward and backward, it creates it is used to like store data on that disk.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And what is the disadvantage of the hard disk drive?
Mm.
It's
Is it that
because
they are
sometimes the
slow?
data speed is slow. Yes. And why is it slow?
Oh. It's because it's usually cheap.
No, no, it's because of the movement. Did I show you the video?
Oh yeah, yeah. Due to
The
the
video,
mechanical
yes,
parts.
yes. The video said that, oh, sorry, not the video. I mean, in the video, it was there as you can see the actuator and the platter was moving again and again, right? Like this. So this is why it is slow, right?
Yeah.
So the disadvantages of this is that, and when I move on to the magnetic tapes, magnetic tape. So this is to be known as the magnetic tapes. I'm not sure if you have heard about them or not, but when I was of your age, like maybe 200 years ago, so we used to have,
200 years ago?
yeah, because I'm really old, right?
I know you're joking.
No, no, I'm serious. I'm really old. It's like I did a plastic surgery of AI, so that's why I look young.
You would be dead by then.
No, this is technology, right? We use AI.
Oh.
So have you seen these magnetic discs?
Uh,
No, I'm sure
no,
you have not, because they
no.
used to be back in old times. Maybe you can ask your mom. She will tell you like back into our time we used to have discs like this, and we used to have all the storage on this. So magnetic tapes is basically used in computer to record the data in the 90s 50s. So magnetic tapes was a popular storage medium right there. So it wound into reels, and long stretches of tapes were passed through readers that would check the polarity of the binary values, and we also need to use a tape for this as well, something like this to play these discs and the CDs. So when I'm going to talk about these magnetic tapes, so they were used to be something like this, and the data, yes, this is magnetic tape, this is the reels, and that's on this the data was written, and when it goes from this end to this end, that's how the data was read. So this is about the magnetic tape. But there were actually many examples of magnetic tapes back in that time. So this was an example of this. So all of these were magnetic tapes because they used the reels. Then after that, we had the option of floppy disk. And have you seen a floppy disk in real life?
I
No.
think I did. I think I did.
And you know what is the storage capacity of a floppy disk?
What is it?
You wouldn't believe. Trust me. 1.2 MB.
1.44. It says 1.44.
Yeah, yeah. Approximately. The storage space of a floppy disk is 1.44. And look at the size of this floppy disk. That means you can store data of 1.44. And these days, look at the size of this, which is going to store a 1 terabyte of data. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Like, I remember in my school, the teacher was asking me for some assignments. So I used a floppy disk at that time to give her the file. So, like maybe 200 years before. So we used to have very small space in this. But now, the technology is definitely has been increased. But a floppy disk was also an example of a magnetic disk. And Uh, it would have been originally being flexible because it was enclosed in plastic to protect the disk from a dust, and they were incredibly portable because they were thin size, low weight, so they become popular for exchanging small amount of data. But the only problem with that was the storage capacity. After that, we have flash drives. So, what do you know about flash drives? Do you have any idea? These are flash drives, right?
Oh yeah. Similar to USB cables.
Yeah. That's what they are known as flash drives. So, flash drives is fast and compact. So, this technology makes the use of silicon semiconductor that forms the logic gates, like you have NAND, NOR, to store electrical charge into two states, high or low. Then these charges represent the binary values such as ones and zeros. So the preferred logic gate for using storing smaller quantities are executed as NOR for larger files. So this is why it is known as a flash technology, because you are using this like when the logic gate is formed, uh, that the technology makes the use of silicon semiconductors that form the logic gate, and when the logic gate is formed, then you are able to transfer the data. The flash memories can be erased and reprogrammed easily and electronically, just like a USB device. It is non-volatile as well, means data is stayed there, data remains there, data permanently stored there until and unless you delete it yourself, and it stores there even if the power is lost. That means you can carry with a USB device, you can take it here and there, and they can be used as an improvement for a performance as well. After that, the next part I have here is solid state drives. And solid state drives, they are also known as an SSDs. They are currently one of the most popular forms of data storage. They are extremely light, they are extremely portable while having no moving parts, and this makes them more resistant to damage as well from movement than hard disk drives, which are packed like for moving parts. So, furthermore, SSDs are renowned for their high data transfer rates as well, and the primary disadvantage of SSD is that their cost, which continues to decrease as they are becoming more and more common. So SSDs are actually more portable, they are more light, but they are more resistant to damage than hard disk because the hard disk drive has have a moving part, but SSDs are faster. They have a good faster rate. Now in the laptops we have these SSD drives along with it, so that's how they actually work faster. These are some common pointers. Let's go through them. The use of storage. Each method, what is this? This is like each method of storing information is suited to a particular type of information. The pointers for optical devices is that they read and write using lasers. You have binary information represented by portions of the disk which either reflect or scatter the light. They have pits and lands that represent zeros and ones. So if they talk about pits and land, always remember that this is optical device. I have the first category of optical device, which is CD. It stands for compact disc. It is used for optical technology to store small quantities of information. It is commonly used for audio files, text files, digital images. It is small, thin, portable. It is easily damaged by scratches, and it has a limited